What if the missing piece in your journey to greatness isn't more discipline, harder work, or endless self-punishment? What if the true secret is something softer, gentler, yet infinitely more powerful? What if it is simply this: treating yourself with the same kindness you show to the people you love most in this world? Think about it. You encourage your children when they stumble. You comfort a friend when they fail. You forgive your partner when they make mistakes. But how often do you do the same for yourself? Most people don't. Most people carry a harsh inner critic that screams louder than any outer enemy ever could. That voice says, "You're not enough. You always fail. You'll never get it right." But here's the awakening truth. Self-criticism does not make you stronger, it makes you smaller. Self-compassion, on the other hand, unlocks unstoppable confidence and healing. So tonight, as you settle into bed, let us explore together how self-compassion can reshape not only your inner world, but your entire life. This is not a soft idea for the weak. This is a life-transforming habit, proven by science to heal, empower, and elevate your confidence from within. Let's begin with a true story. Dr. Kristin Neff, now known as the world's leading researcher on self-compassion, wasn't always the confident voice you see on stage. Her journey began in pain. After going through a difficult divorce and facing the overwhelming stress of raising a child with special needs, Kristin found herself drowning in self-criticism. She kept blaming herself. Maybe I'm not a good enough mother. Maybe I should have tried harder in my marriage. Maybe I am the problem. Do these words sound familiar? Most of us have said similar things to ourselves. But then something extraordinary happened. Instead of continuing to punish herself, Kristin made a radical decision. She began to practice self-kindness. She started speaking to herself the way she would to a dear friend. She reminded herself that to be human is to make mistakes. She forgave herself again and again, until the wounds of guilt and shame slowly began to heal. The results were astonishing. Not only did Kristin rebuild her emotional strength, she went on to flourish professionally, writing best-selling books, creating global training programs, and changing the way the world understands self-care. Her message is simple. Self-compassion is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. You might ask, but does this really work? Isn't self-compassion just being soft on yourself? Science answers with a loud and clear no. A 2011 study by Dr. Neff and Dr. Christopher Germer showed that people who practiced self-compassion experienced less anxiety, greater well-being, more motivation to pursue their goals. Why? Because when you treat yourself with kindness, your brain actually shifts. MRI scans reveal that self-kindness activates the brain regions linked to safety and connection rather than threat and fear. In other words, when you are kind to yourself, your brain believes, "I am safe. I can try again. I can keep going." The American Psychological Association adds that self-compassion not only reduces stress, it also makes people bounce back from setbacks faster. Imagine falling down and getting up quickly, instead of staying on the ground, blaming yourself. That is what self-compassion does. It turns failure into fuel. The Buddha captured it beautifully. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Pause for a moment. Think about the way you speak to yourself. If you were to put your inner dialogue on loudspeakers for the world to hear, would it sound like encouragement or like abuse? For many, it would sound harsh, full of judgment and blame. Yet we tolerate this inner cruelty because we think it makes us tougher. But ask yourself, has criticizing yourself ever truly helped you grow? Or has it only made you feel smaller? Now imagine replacing that cruel inner voice with one that says, "It's okay. You're learning. You're human. Keep going. I believe in you." That voice does not make you weaker. That voice makes you unstoppable. Real-life transformation. From self-doubt to self-belief. Let's look at another story. Anthony, a young athlete, had dreams of playing professionally. But one injury changed everything. Benched for an entire season, he watched teammates rise while he fell into self-doubt. His inner critic said, "You're finished. You'll never recover. You're a failure." This negativity didn't just delay his recovery, it made him miserable. Through therapy, Anthony discovered self-compassion. At first, it felt strange. Speaking kindly to himself seemed unnatural. But slowly, he learned. Instead of saying "I'm useless," he said, "I'm healing. This is hard, but I'm doing my best." Instead of punishing himself for mistakes, he reminded himself, every athlete faces setbacks. I'm not alone. Instead of pushing through pain recklessly, he gave his body time, patience, and care. The result? His recovery sped up. But more importantly, when he returned, he played with a joy he had never felt before. His confidence no longer depended on being perfect. It came from being kind to himself. This is the power of self-compassion. It turns pain into wisdom. It transforms doubt into belief. Let these words sink into your heart. Talk to yourself like you would to someone you love. Brown. Self-compassion is simply giving the same kindness to ourselves that we would give to others. Christopher Germer. Lighten up on yourself. No one is perfect. Gently accept your humanness. Deborah Day. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. Jack Cornfield. How to build self-compassion into your habits. So how can you start? Here are some simple, practical steps. Practice mindful self-talk. Whenever you catch yourself saying, "I'm a failure," pause. Replace it with, "I'm learning, and that's okay." Acknowledge common humanity. Remember, everyone struggles. You are not broken. You are human. Create a soothing ritual. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe deeply. Whisper to yourself, "I'm safe. I'm here. I'll be okay." Keep a self-compassion journal. Each night, write down one way you showed kindness to yourself. Even something small counts. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Self-compassion means applauding small victories, not waiting for flawless success. Here's something most people miss. Self-compassion is not about letting yourself off the hook. It's not about saying, "I don't need to grow." It is about giving yourself the emotional safety to grow without fear. Think of a child learning to walk. If that child falls, you don't yell at them. You cheer them on. And because you cheer them on, they get up and try again. You are that child. Every stumble is part of your learning. Every mistake is a step toward mastery. Now, as you prepare to sleep, let's try something together. Close your eyes. Take a slow breath in and out. Imagine holding yourself the way you would hold someone you love. Imagine embracing your own heart, saying, "It's okay. You're doing your best. You are enough." Visualize your heart growing lighter. See your old wounds softening. Feel a quiet confidence rising inside you. True transformation does not come from pushing yourself harder. It comes from loving yourself more fiercely. Tonight, let compassion tuck you into sleep. And tomorrow, wake not with harshness, but with kindness. Are you ready to rewrite your story with kindness? If so, join this movement. Subscribe for more nightly habits that empower and heal. In the comments, share just one way you'll show yourself compassion tomorrow. Together, let's create a ripple effect, because when one person learns to be kind to themselves, they inspire countless others to do the same. Rest easy tonight. You are enough, exactly as you are.